This movie kind of felt like it was scored by Duke Silver because no one stopped playing the saxophone in it. So I just watched the Tubi original I Didn't Do It. This is a recent release. It came out earlier this year. In case you're wondering why in the world I watched this, you can thank my friends who like to watch bad movies. I believe I mentioned them when I reviewed Office Romance and Scary Movie 6. And now this is another movie they have convinced me to watch, and I knew nothing about this movie going in other than the fact it's directed by Chris Stokes, who has made two other Tubi originals we've watched, Adopted and Adopted 2. And like those are pretty fun. They're not like there are points where they can get boring, but they're definitely I would definitely place them in the so bad that it's good category. But and I also knew this movie apparently had a bonkers ending. That's literally all I knew going in. And now that I have watched this movie, yep, I can definitely say it's a Tubi original and it has a bonkers ending. But I will say, I think this was more entertaining than Adopted and Adopted 2. This is probably the most entertaining Tubi original I've watched thus far. Because, like, though with most Tubi originals, the problem is like they have parts that are entertainingly bad, but then they also have long stretches of time where it just kind of gets boring. This one had a few parts that were boring, but for the most part, this was a blast. I thought this was a ton of fun. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely bad, but I had fun with it. I can at least say that. In terms of just how it is as a movie, the acting is terrible. Pretty much all the actors in this are really bad. The lead actor in this, who plays the cop, who's the father of the girl who committed suicide, he literally only has one facial expression in this movie, and it's to look very stern, very stoic. Which, when there are parts where he's supposed to be grieving his daughter, it looks embarrassing that it looks like he's not even trying. Literally at one point in the movie, he like wakes up he's supposed to be hung over, but he legit looks like I don't even know what. He looks like he's been tranquilized. I don't know what's literally everyone I watched the movie was like, what is wrong with him? What is he doing? The girl who committed suicide's boyfriend, Derek, like he's supposed to be like mourning her. He's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, sir. Like, I am so sorry for your loss. It is so sad. Like, he has such a monotone voice. Like, oh, you're real sad, I can tell. The detective who kind of works off the lead cop in this, I am almost convinced she was like reading off a teleprompter. Like, it's legit like that scene in Ice Cube's War of the Worlds when he's like reading the report and he's just like, the aliens have landed in numerous points across America and the world. They are going to kill us all. Like, it legit has that vibe to it. This one girl that they bring in to interrogate, who they think sent some mean texts to the girl who committed suicide. Like, literally, she's like the most over the top girl of all time. She's just like always going like, She's always snapping her fingers, just going like just the most stereotypical over the top depiction of a valley girl you could imagine. I will say one thing I will give the actors in this. The daughter, the one who committed suicide, I thought she was actually legit good. I thought she did a good job. She has multiple monologues in here that I think she does deliver well. They're not written particularly well, but like I actually think she did a good job with what she was given. So good for her. Maybe hopefully she'll be able to escape Tubi's clutches at some point. The writing in this movie is terrible. Literally, the dialogue is like so. Some of the first dialogue you hear in the movie after the girl's monologue before she commits suicide, you have the cop dad who's like talking about this guy that he got in trouble for beating because he was giving out dime bags to kids. All of them, those criminals just giving out dime bags to kids. He literally says he's a scum. he is a scum. And then when he gets suspended for like beating this guy and turning off his body cam, he says, "This is a bullshit. This is a bullshit." Like, oh, is that how we talk now? Okay. There are so many really funny insults. There are so many points in this movie where like the cop dad just keeps saying he's gonna shove his foot up someone's ass. Like specifically that. I remember specifically he says that very specific thing like 5 times. Like he says he's just gonna shove his foot up someone's ass. At one point, the detective calls cop dad and she's like, "What are you doing? It's 5 o'clock p.m. We've been trying to call you all day." Like, that's how people talk. 5 o'clock p.m. You say. Or instead of 5 p.m. or just 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock or it's 5 p.m. You say it's 5 o'clock p.m. Wake up. um, at one point, they describe the person who is hanging out with the girl who committed suicide as a goth grunge rocker. Again, just how people talk. Especially, again, it's a young person who says this. That's how young people talk. They say things like that. I had to write this down verbatim because this is one of the most insane lines of dialogue I've ever heard. After we get this long monologue at a bar from the detective, dad cop says, "Just remember, tigers and assholes. No matter how much you wipe, it still has stripes." Just how do you take how do you write a line like that and expect it to be taken seriously? Also, who taught you how to wipe, sir? I don't think you're doing a good job of wiping. um Literally at the end of the movie, after the climax, detective lady just goes, "What are we gonna do now?" Like, I'm sorry, I don't think the law enforcement should just be saying, "What are we gonna do now?" Like, there's a very clear thing you should be doing now. Go do that thing. There's oh yeah, this is the thing. This is what happens at the bar right before the line about tigers and assholes. There is a 5-minute exposition dump about this satanic cult leader who like groomed people into committing suicide and filming it so that he could put it up on the dark web. Like, detective lady just goes on about this guy for like 5 minutes, and she thinks he's somehow connected to the daughter committing suicide. This goes nowhere in the movie. They never bring this person up again. I guess at one point we're supposed to think that maybe him or one of his disciples had something to do with it, but nope. As far as I can tell, they could cut that from the movie and you would have missed nothing. Even like outside of the writing and the acting, on a technical level, this movie is terrible. The lighting is absolutely awful. Every scene in the movie is shot incredibly dark. Even daytime scenes, it looks like it's like sunset. Um, the cinematography and camera work is amateur hour. Either they just point the camera at things, or they like sometimes they like move the camera around like and it's rotating around things like it's like you're in an observatory like rotating around these people. At one point, there's a shot where like dad cop busts into the police station and he just shoves all these papers down onto the front desk, and the camera like goes from the cop pointing at cop dad's head to pointing at the papers, which is where the camera should stop. But no, it then proceeds to keep panning down until all we're looking at is like the bottom of the desk. What? It's like, why did you do that? It's like the camera slipped out of the camera person's hands and like, oh shoot, I accidentally filmed this part of the scene. I accidentally filmed the desk underneath the desk. I went too far, and the director was just like, leave it, whatever. Who cares? The editing is atrocious. There's literally a point in the movie where like the girl I was talking about earlier who was interrogated. The scene opens with her saying, "How long are you gonna keep me here? You just gonna keep asking me the same questions? Is this a joke?" And then literally the scene ends with her. It's literally the exact same scene. I think the exact same take of her saying, "What's going on here? How long are you gonna keep me here? Are you just gonna keep asking me the same questions? Is this a joke?" Like literally the exact same scene, the exact same line. I'm convinced exactly the same take to open and end the scene. Like brilliant. the music for the movie isn't even good. Like I mentioned earlier, there's this weird saxophone music that keeps playing throughout the movie. Like not even like he's doing detective work or something. Like literally the first time we hear it, he's like coming home. He just learned his daughter's dead. He's supposed to be like in mourning, and we just hear it's like I don't think you're setting the mood the way you think you should. It comes back late, and then later on, when like he comes back and he's like all drunk because like he's having a bad day, he can't find out what happened to his daughter. He's looking for, he can't get anywhere, and he's just all drunk and depressed again. It's, like, and at one point, it literally plays while he's like driving, while he's driving somewhere and looking at pictures of his daughter. It legit feels like something out of The Naked Gun. Like it legit's like those scenes where Frank Drebin's like driving and you just hear saxophone in the background. It's like that, but done unironically. It was amazing. Um, Even just like there's base. I don't even know what to describe these things as. Production design, I guess, is done terribly. Like when like after the girl commits suicide and the dad's like looking through all the texts she sent him, it legit, the way he's like looking at the last two texts, it legit looks like those are the only two texts she's ever sent him. At one point he's like looking at these photographs of him, his daughter and his wife, and they all look AI generated. We There's this one scene in the police chief's office when he's chewing out the dad cop for getting too close to the case. If you're too close, you gotta step down. And all I could think is, why does this guy have so many plants in his office? I swear, it was like 10 plants. I don't know why there were so many. It was so weird. And legit, like all the characters in this movie, they're all wearing the exact same clothes throughout the entire movie. And like, okay, a lot of the cops are wearing their cop uniforms, fine. But Detective Lady is just wearing the exact same pantsuit throughout the entire film, and this is supposed to take place over like multiple days, and she's just wearing the same pantsuit to work every day. Does she just have like 10 copies of this same suit? Like, oh yeah, I'll just wear the same thing every day, so that way I never have to choose what to wear. Oh my gosh. And even like there are so many incredibly cheesy moments in this film. Like they do the thing where where dad cop is like remembering lines characters have previously said, and they do the echo over the lines. So you just hear like, go home, get some rest. I know this has been a hard day for you, but imagine there's like an echo at the end of that. So it's the cheesiest thing in the world. There's at one point where they like have this like B-roll of a hacker who's like hacking into I don't even really understand what they were supposed to be hacking into the daughter's phone, I guess. And like they had this Matrix computer wallpaper, like with all with the binary number code going down the screen and the green trail. It's like, oh, we have to show you he's a hacker, so we have to have this Matrix computer wallpaper. And again, like I said, the scene where the police chief is just yelling, "You're too close to this case, you loose cannon! You're off the case! Turn in your badge!" Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, we're hitting all the cop cliches here, aren't we? And oh my gosh, okay, so the mom in this movie, the reason why she's not in the picture anymore is because she passed away not too long ago. When the way she passed away, and this is how every character in the movie refers to it, they just say, your mom had an autoimmune disorder. Again, we can't be bothered to actually think up a name for the disease, actually name the disease she has. No, just she has an autoimmune disorder. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. Oh my gosh. And so let's talk about some character specific things and some specific things with the plot. This dad cop is one of the most unlikable protagonists I have ever seen in a movie. First of all, like again, he's supposed to be mourning because he recently lost his wife and now he's lost his daughter, I guess technically his stepdaughter, but he lost his stepdaughter too. He never actually looks upset about it. Like again, like I said, he always has this stoic face. So he's like supposed to be looking over these pictures, looking at the last text she sent him, all crying, but no, he just Like that. Imagine, like, yeah, you look at that person and you go, wow, that person is clearly going through some hard times. We need to help him. Like he doesn't even have her in his phone by her name. Literally, she is saved under his phone as daughter. It just shows how close they are. Like, I think of this person, I think of daughter. Like, and again, at one point, he's like, when he's like dramatic monologuing to Lady Detective, he's like saying, yeah, he was like talking about how they recently lost their mom, and about how he recently lost his wife, she lost her mom, and he's like, yeah, I knew she was going through some things, but instead of helping her, I just created a bigger gap by diving into my work. So you knew something was going on with her, and instead of doing something about it, you went ahead and did nothing about it. Great parenting. This guy is seriously, and like, it's funny because from that you'd think he'd be very apathetic, but no, this guy's a whack job the rest of the time because, like, they have a flashback where he meets his daughter's boyfriend for the first time, and he's like, and they do the thing where that he's very formal, like, it's a pleasure to meet you, son, and the boyfriend is just like, yo, what's up, Mr. Whatever your last name is, and he like goes to give him a fist bump. And like you think he's just gonna be like, who is this boy? You know, he doesn't even really treat me with respect. But no, he's sitting here saying like, who is this boy? He gave me a fist bump. You know what that means? He's guilty. He's up to something. I don't trust him. It's like, where'd this come from? And at one point when he goes to like, because the boyfriend's gonna drive the daughter to school, he pulls the daughter aside, and like at one point, and it seriously looks like he's handing her a gun. Like, here, you need this to defend yourself. Swear to gosh, it looked like he gave her a Glock. But no, it was just a taser. But even then, they're driving to school, and you're gonna give your daughter a taser to take to school. That's not allowed, sir. I don't know what you think the rules at school are nowadays, but you're not allowed to just bring a taser onto campus. That's not. You don't get to do that. And again, like I said, he keeps like threatening people. He's gonna shove his foot up their ass. He's gonna break. Literally says he's gonna break his foot off in it. Like he just drives up when he's not even like he doesn't have evidence that the boyfriend had anything to do with the suicide or influencing her or anything like that. But he thinks it might be a possibility. There's a non 0% chance that he had something to do with it. So he drives up to his place of work, literally grabs him by the shirt, shoves him against the wall, and is like yelling, "What did you do? What did you do?" And when like those coworkers like, "I'm calling the cops," he's like, "I am the cops. You're gonna sit down. Let's go and break my foot up in your ass." It's like, this guy's a freaking psycho. And it's funny too because like the boyfriend reveals that him and the daughter broke up not too long ago. And like first he was mad when they started going out. Now he looks like he's gonna kick his ass for breaking up with his daughter. Like, what, my daughter not good enough for you? Good sir, you didn't want them dating in the first place. What is your problem? Oh yeah, and it's revealed that he also is a cheater because literally he's again in another dramatic monologue he gives to Detective Lady. He's talking about how his ex-girlfriend showed up at his doorstep and was trying to get him to give her another chance. And she literally grabs him and starts kissing him, and like, that's like another cliche. The daughter walks in and like thinks something's happening. That's like a cliche you see in movies. But like in all these movies, usually like he at least puts up some sort of a fight. Literally the second that like she starts kissing him, he immediately goes, "Oh yeah." And like while we're seeing this, he has this like we're hearing few like present day cop dads like narration. He says, "I tried to get her to leave." Unless you were trying to get her to leave with your tongue, I don't think you actually were. And I guess transitioning from cop dad to cop to just the cops in general, this police department is absolutely terrible. These are some of the worst cops you will see in anything. Like I said at the very beginning, literally the main character is like on leave because he was like beating up this drug dealer, literally turned his body camera off, and now he's in a coma. at one, oh my gosh, when he finds out that other cops are interrogating this girl who might have sent mean texts like you're a slut, go kill yourself, oh, to his daughter. And when he finds out about this, he wants to be the one to interrogate her. It's like, you see now, I don't think you would be allowed to investigate this because you're like the cops, like the police chief said, you're too close to the case. That would be a conflict of interest. But no, he's like the cop who's interrogating her. He wants him out, and he's like, "This is my case. I'm the official interrogator." And then Dad Cop says, "Well, make it unofficial." What the hell does that even mean? I don't know. And again, after in the interrogation, he actually manages to get some answers out of her. And the cop who was doing the interrogation brings up a good point. He's like, "Okay, good job. You managed to get some answers out of her. Too bad none of it will be admissible in court because you are on leave. You did this without permission. None of this can be used in court." And literally everyone just ignores him. Everyone's just like, "Okay, so we need to follow up on these leads you got though. Good job. You did it." Like nothing in this nothing that these cops do. These cops must never solve any cases because they all suck. Literally, at one point in the movie, after cop dad and detective lady go to a bar, he's like they're driving back to the police station, and she's like, "Is it a good idea for you to be driving? You had 4 beers, actually." And dad cop goes, "Actually, you had 4 beers. I had 6 beers." But beer is just like an appetizer to me, so I'm good. So this cop is self-admittedly driving drunk back to the police station. It's like, you should not be a cop. You should be in jail, sir. You suck. You're terrible. And heck, even talking about like just the things that happen with the case, none of it makes any sense. Like I said, the movie opens with the girl live streaming her suicide on Instagram and like giving like a note like, "If you're wondering why I did this, this is why." It's like, I believe I don't use Instagram very much, but I believe Instagram allows people to report things like that. In fact, it encourages people to report things like that. And like it's shown, we see like the video that we're showing her suicide note, and like there are multiple people watching this video. None of them do anything to try and stop her. None of them call for the police or anything. None of this. Nobody tries to do anything. And like, yeah, I know there are cases in the real world where like people committed suicide on a live stream, but like there were still at least some people in the chat trying to stop them or trying to call somebody or do something. Literally, nobody must have been doing anything because like when she's doing the suicide note video, it's all bright and sunny out. But when the cops actually go to investigate, they're like, "We got a call. Someone committed suicide jumping off a bridge. It's your daughter." Like when that happens and they actually get there, it is pitch black dark. So how long did someone wait to actually tell the cops, "Oh, by the way, there was a Instagram video I watched where someone killed themselves. You should probably look into that." Like none of this make. And by the way, apparently, again, the techno mumbo jumbo in this movie is stupid. But like, from my understanding, she was somehow streaming while her phone service was disconnected. How'd that happen exactly? Like, they just say, "Oh yeah, her phone service was disconnected while she was live streaming." I'm sorry, how'd that happen? How'd you do that? How'd you manage to do that? And then like at multiple points they're saying like, "Well, we know that she drowned because she was wearing a weighted vest." And so, and it's like, okay, first of all, you haven't found the body yet. Second of all, the actual quality of the video did not look good enough for them to be able to determine she was wearing a weighted vest. So what are you basing that on? They didn't dust. They think the dad cop thinks that there might have been another person with her and that they might have taken her phone after she jumped. And I guess they didn't dust the phone for fingerprints because they have no idea if someone's actually there or not. At one point, they think they found her body and they're like, "We're going to send in a team of divers to retrieve the body. We should have results tomorrow." Tomorrow comes, they bring in what they think is the body. Turns out it was a mannequin. I'm sorry. I don't care how, like, I don't care how deep the body is. I don't care how far away you are. You should not be able to mistake a mannequin for a body, especially if you're like a apparently an expert team of divers who goes in and retrieves bodies from water all the time. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, and at one point, like they get this like Discord message, and they think someone named Dark Derek, maybe it's Dark Desire. I don't know. They say Dark. They alternate between Dark Derek and Dark Desire. 223. And the lady detective is just like, it's his Discord handle. It's the Discord handle of the person who did this. How can you tell it's his Discord handle? Where are you getting that information from? I don't know. They don't explain. She just knows it's his Discord handle. Oh, but apparently she was right, because apparently he just recorded video of himself stalking this teenage girl and went ahead and put it up on Discord, because that's how they're able to find he. They find his Discord and see that he has all this video of stalking her. It's like, who just puts stuff like this up on Discord? I'm sorry. Even if it's like a private Discord, nobody would just willingly put stuff like this up on there. They put it on the dark web or something. Like, somewhere where like it's harder for people to actually see these things. And I know I said the movie has like a bonkers twist. It does. I actually don't want to spoil it because like a I actually think you should go ahead and watch this movie yourself. Like, it's bad, but if you're like a person who loves watching bad movies, I say go ahead and give this movie a watch. It's so bad it's good enough that I can say go ahead. Even if you can't get like friends together, I think this is a fun watch if you're by yourself. And B, because like I'm not gonna lie, really thinking about the movie as a whole, like I think this legit could have been a good movie. Like, if you take the like, okay, you'd have to fix a lot of stuff about the first two acts, but like if you take the twist that we find out in the third act, again, maybe deliver it in a bit less clunky and dumb and kind of dumb way, but like yeah, this the way the twist itself could actually work as like a legit good twist for a cop thriller. And that's kind of a shame that it's a twist like this is wasted on a Tubi original that directed by the guy who made the Adopted movies. I guess just one mildly spoilery thing I'll say is cyanide poisoning would not be mistaken for autoimmune disorder. Like, I feel like cyanide poisoning would come up in an autopsy, regardless of if the symptoms matched. And I guess one more thing I'll say, the title for this movie makes no sense. Like I said, the movie is not about a cop trying to prove yet he was not involved in his daughter's murder. It's about a cop trying to find out what caused his daughter's suicide. And at no point do they think he caused it. Well, he kind of thinks he had something to do with it, but like it's not like he's trying to disprove to other people that he had something to do with it. So the title I Didn't Do It doesn't make any sense. Like, I think they just wanted a cool sounding title and they couldn't think of something actually related to the film's plot. So yeah, those are my thoughts on I Didn't Do It. Like I said, if you want an actual good movie, don't bother with this. But if you want a so bad it's good movie you can just go ahead and make fun of either with friends or by yourself, give this a watch. I think you'll have fun. But this is still a very bad movie, so I'm gonna give this movie an F. Still gets an F. But hey, it was better than Office Romance, so I can at least give it that. So those are my thoughts on I Didn't Do It. If you've seen the movie, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. And on that note, I will see you next time. Have a great day.